Hey everyone and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where today it is time to take on our starting quest for White Mage Heavensward. Time to start the White Mage job quest for Heavensward. Awesome. Back up here in Camp Tranquil, because that is where we can find Rhea Osena as usual. And before we get started with the White Mage job quest, let me see. Before we get started, I did want to go over some briefly the changes to White Mage in patch 7.1. Not too many, but they are fairly useful. First off, the healer roll action Asuna is now instant cast. It no longer has a cast time, which is very useful. Main difference is now you can use it while you're moving, which is primarily going to be useful in dungeons, but also a few high-end content trials and raids as well. But primarily in dungeons, especially dungeons where there's going to be a lot of poison flying out from regular enemies. It is a useful ability. It is very useful, though, that it's now instant cast. It makes a bigger difference than you would expect. The other big change is Holy's cast time has been reduced from 2.5 seconds down to 1.5 seconds at base. We've got a bit of spell speed, so it's a little bit lower than that even, but now Holy gives us a little bit of time to move between casts, which is nice. Alright then, let's see. Rhea Osena, it is time to begin. What do you got for us? Rhea Osena has a task of great import for you. Satora, you could not have come at a better time. We have dire need of your aid. There isn't time to explain. No, but that trouble is afoot, and I would ask you to meet me at the Guardian Tree. Alright then. Before we head off there, I did just remember we need to do our minion roulette for the day, giving us Wind Up Odin. Hello there. I thought I killed you twice. Your damn sword, I just cannot get a hold of it, it appears. Alright, on to the Guardian Tree. Alright, made it back to the Guardian Tree at the Central Shroud. Hello there, Rhea O and Arun. How are you two doing? What is the trouble that's afoot? Thank you for coming on such short notice. We knew not who else we might turn to. How fares the Great One? Unchanged from before, I'm afraid. He repeats the same words over and over. Then it falls to us to glean their meaning. Very well. Satora, you will recall the time we performed the quieting and quelled the Great One's rage. Since that day, we have continued communing with him to ensure that all is well. And it was, until recently. I'm afraid to say that an unsettling change came over the Great One some days ago. He has taken to repeating the same words to us. The taint floodeth the forest, its beating heart to befoul. After some inquiries and research, we were able to learn that the Great One has spoken these words before during the time of Atoa Kant. Immediately we were made to wonder, when Master Atoa embarked upon his journey of healing, could his purpose have been to protect the forest from the taint of which the Great One now warns? We sought to delve further into this, but no accounts of Master Atoa's journey are to be found at Stillglade Fane. Such records as exist are in the keeping of his foremost student, the mage who recovered his remains from Ogomoro. If he is still alive, he may be able to assist us. We have prepared a missive, and we would ask that you deliver it into his hands. After interring his beloved master, the man is said to have taken up residence at Falgord Float, that he might ever be near to tend to the tomb. If he is there still, the locals should be able to point you in his direction. While you see to this task, my brother and I shall remain here and continue observing the Great One. My thanks in advance, Satora. Alright then, I guess our next destination is Falgord Float. Let's go find this old pupil. Alright, Falgord Float. Let's see if anyone knows where this old pupil of Atoa's is. You seek Master Atoa's former student? I am afraid he has departed for the realm yonder. His granddaughter now tends to the tomb at Proud Creek in his stead. If truth be told, I am worried about her. The area is thick with fiends, and even experienced wood whalers avoid venturing there unaccompanied. Okay, so her best bet would be the granddaughter, and she regularly attends to the tomb. We could probably go directly to the tomb now and see if she's there, but let's see if anyone knows where she is right now. That old fellow? I'm afraid he passed away some years ago. I remember him well, though. He took care of his master's tomb to the very end. His granddaughter Shiva tends the place now, and she's been especially attentive since those accursed bandits came and defiled it. Okay, we have a name. That is very helpful. Alright, Summerhild. I had a feeling there was a D at the end there, blocked by the light pole. What do you know about this Shiva? Otto, a consoled student? I'd heard that someone's sending the tomb, but it's a young maid as I recall. Okay, so nothing new and useful from you. Fair enough. Then let's head on up to the tomb and see if Ashiva happens to be there right now. Alright, anyone here? Yes, she is, and we've got Dullahans. Dullahans to deal with. Probably should not have pissed off the regular Dullahans because they weren't really doing anything. Oh well. Alright, you get off of Ashiva, please. God, why is White Mage so goddamn bright? I hate Holy. I really hate Holy. Are you okay, Ashiva? Thank you so much. So focused was I on tending the tomb, I failed to notice the fiends approaching me. What? You're searching for the granddaughter of Master Hatoa's former student? Then you need search no more. I am Ashiva. Alright, good that we found you. I've got a missive for you. Know that I have taken on my grandfather's responsibilities. Wow, that is the worst one I've had in a long time. Responsibilities. If it is within my powers to help the Seedseers, then I should be glad to do so. Alright. Well, here's the missive. The taint threatens the Twelveswood? Nafika have mercy. As the Seedseers have surmised, 'twas to purge the taint that Master Atoa journeyed the length and breadth of the realm. Simply put, the taint is ether that has been befouled. If we are to be rid of it, we must find the source of the corruption and cleanse it. The question is, are the Seedseers prepared to do as Master Atoa once did? At any rate, it is best that I speak with him directly. I shall make my way to the Guardian Tree at once. Okay, well, good that we've got your aid. Let's head back to the Guardian Tree to meet up with them. Alright, I return and I got assistance. Hello, Ashiva, good to see you made it. The Seedseers know what they must do, but are they willing to do it? A journey outside the forest? My thanks for finding Ashiva, Satora. She has told us all. If we are to protect the Twelveswood from the taint, we must needs deal with the corruption at its source. Is that the way of it? It is. That was why Master Atoa embarked upon his journey, heedless of his Pajali heritage. And yet Master Atoa is no ordinary Pajal. We are duty-bound to remain in the forest. We cannot simply leave it. Satora, I am loath to ask this of you after all you have already done for us, but the preservation of the Twelveswood is at stake. You are not Pajali, and hence are not bound by the laws which bind us. Will you embark upon this quest in our stead? With all due respect, I cannot believe what I'm hearing. You would entrust the fate of the forest to an adventurer? Calm yourself and know that Satora is no ordinary adventurer. Nay, she is a white mage true, chosen by Master Atoa himself to be his successor. She bears his soul crystal and his legacy both. I have every confidence that you will be able to purge the taint. As such, I would join my voice to my brother's request. I mean, I'll go. I will do what I can, but Master Atoa's successor? That such an individual existed. I wish to make a request of my own. In his youth, my grandfather served Master Atoa proudly, accompanying him wheresoever he went, and assisting in purification rituals. It has ever been my desire to emulate my grandfather's deeds. If Satora is to undertake this quest to eliminate the taint, then I would likewise accompany and assist her. The journey will be fraught with peril. Are you willing to risk life and limb solely for the sake of emulating your grandfather? I am, my lady, but that is not the whole of it. I cannot sit idly by while a threat encroaches upon the Twelveswood. It is our home, and we, each of us, must do our part to protect it. Our parts. I see that your heart is true. Very well, assuming that Satora consents, and I see no reason why she would not, you have our blessing to accompany her. The fate of the Twelveswood is in your hands. We shall pray for your success. I probably should double check the lore on the Pajali, because I know they are here chosen by the elementals to be guardians of the forest, which causes them to have eternal youth and grow horns from their heads and be able to very clearly hear kind of what the intent of the elementals is. But why is there a rule that they can't leave the forest, especially when the elementals are begging for aid and that aid would require them leaving the forest? Something feels off about that, and that feels like something needs to change. However, I am willing to do my part to help. And there could be something I'm missing. There very well could be an extra detail that I'm just not aware of that actually, oh yeah, it makes sense that they need to stay in the forest. Maybe it has to do with their connection to the elementals. Maybe they need to stay close to the Twelveswood's elementals in order to retain their powers, in order to maintain the connection. Maybe something like that. Still, it feels bad. It feels like it's a little too strict and they should be allowed to leave, especially for the purpose of protecting the forest. We will need to make plans for the journey. Please come and see me at Twelveswood. Alright. I guess technically this means we now have a disciple of sorts. Fun! Alright, let's get on over to Twelveswood and meet up with Ashiva. I'll meet you up there. Alright, hello Ashiva, hanging out right by the inn. Also, dressed up in Lancer gear, nice. And they call themselves Pajals. You wonder at my irritation, I shouldn't doubt. I suppose I ought to explain. You see, I was brought up on the tales of Master Altoa's journeys, the sufferings he endured for the sake of the Twelveswood. Young though I was deeply touched by his courage and sacrifice, and to this day his deeds remain close to my heart. That is why it irks me that the Seed Seers will not lift a finger to help the forest. But thankfully we have you. As Master Alto has chosen, you are far more dependable than any Pajal alive. Now then, let us speak of our journey. Grandfather left his records of Master Altoa's journeys in my keeping. I shall scour them for clues as to where we must go. While I do this, pray attend to your own preparations. I shall be here when you are ready to strike out. Sounds good. You get that research done, see if you can figure out any clues as to what the taint is or what we can do to purge it. And, yeah, like, I can also see an argument made for the Pajal need to stay in the Twelveswood to protect it from threats in the Twelveswood. But there's like 3 Pajal right now. 4 Pajal. 5 Pajal that I can think of right now. There's Arun, Kan-E, Araya O, Isumi, and there's one more whose name I forget, but there's at least 5 that I can think of. And yeah, several of them do have responsibilities, but surely you can spare one of them to go out and investigate and fix this issue. It's not like there's only one Pajal around that has to protect the forest. You've got... Surely, in an emergency situation, at least one of them would be free to go out and deal with this shit. Okay, well, I'm sure there's something in the lore that I'm missing, so I'm just gonna let it go. But it does irritate me. I do agree with Ashiva. This is ridiculous. I'll see everyone next time as, let's see, we are heading back to the main story as we are figuring out what to do about the incoming Dravanian horde that's about to attack Ishgard. I'll see everyone next time for that.